Well, I'm thinking it's going to be a very exciting year. I mean, based on what we saw last season, the success of the teams in the postseason, to have 3 teams go to different tournaments beyond the Patriot League postseason. You've got Lehigh returning its star players. McCollum, Knudsen, McKnight really emerged late last year. You've got Bucknell, of course, with Mike Muscala, Joe Willman, Bryson Johnson, that entire cast virtually returning intact. And then I think, American with Stephen Lumpkins coming back is always a wild card, very well coached. Jeff Jones always seems to find a way to fill that scoring void. We were talking about American's transition year to year during his 13-year tenure, and Jeff always seems to plug that gap, whether it's Vlad Maldivenu giving way to Charles Hinkle or whoever it may be this year. But I think that you look at those teams, you look at the rest of the league, I think the bottom of the league is getting better. Army, Navy obviously will be much improved under Ed DeChellis in year 2 as he gets a lot of young players infused in that program. So you've got the top teams who have an historic season to build on from last year, and then I think the rest of the league builds that balance. I'm really excited about it.
There's the switch.
Right back to Johnson from the corner! His second clutch tray. And Bryson Johnson has drawn Bucknell within 1. 10 to go. Bucknell down 1. Ayers on the drive, rejected by Knudsen. McCollum has it, fouled by Johnson. And the 50th victory combined between these 2 teams punches a ticket for Lehigh to the NCAA tournament. A Johnson miss and a Lehigh celebration.
Those are the games you get into this business for. You want a game as a broadcaster that goes right down to the wire. We got that, especially with the first matchup of Bucknell and Lehigh. Ball in the hands of the best player, arguably in the league, going head-to-head in a sense with the other top candidate for Player of the Year honors. McCollum comes through with really a remarkable shot, crossover dribble, going to his left, almost drifting a bit away from the basket, buries it 3 at the buzzer. Lehigh goes to Bucknell, which few teams in this league have done in the history of the Soika Pavilion, and wins in dramatic style. Then they get a rematch, and we watched the second matchup of those 2 teams in Lewisburg unfold, and it's back and forth. Bucknell has several opportunities to tie it or forge ahead in the late going. Yeah, again, the 2 best players in the league are very much on their game that night. Both played exceptionally well. It's what you want in a conference championship. The 2 best teams, 2 best players, and both playing well.
10 to go.
With a player like McCollum, coaches will let you play. They don't want Bucknell to reset their defense. This is one-on-one off the bounce.
Off the crossover for 3. Got it!
I think you always analyze whatever you say on the air, at least that I do. And Jimmy, I think that with that particular call, my partner set it up very well. So you only have a second or 2 really to call it, and you have to be concise, obviously, and you want to rise to the occasion. And given the level of excitement in the building at that moment in time as he rises for that jump shot, hopefully my voice rose as well, and the excitement level was appropriate for the play. Hopefully I called it well. I tend to listen to what I said and cringe a bit, but I think we're all our own harshest critics, so I'll let you or somebody else who listens to it be the judge. As we look forward to this coming campaign after what's been really an historic spring and summer for the Patriot League in basketball, when you consider the postseason success of the likes of Lehigh and Bucknell, of course, in the NCAA and NIT tournament. Someone asked me the same question a bit earlier, and it's a great association. It's very rewarding on many different levels. The one thing about calling Patriot League basketball is that you can delve into a lot of different storylines and do it with great conviction. You hear the term scholar athlete throughout coverage of college basketball and football, and often it's invoked almost as a punchline by a lot of people who cover collegiate athletics, given the problems that exist, particularly in big-time athletics, and especially in the NCAA tournament. But from where I sit, I get to say things with tremendous conviction, because you never have to apologize for on or off the court activities. You are watching young men who have a passion for the game that is unrivaled. It's a passion that matches that of any player in any conference at any program in the country. However, they also have interests that extend beyond basketball. In our case, covering Patriot League basketball games, you're talking about kids who are involved in their communities, young men who are going to go on to graduate studies, perhaps to someday serve in the military. If they go to West Point or Navy, of course, that's the path they've chosen. In other ways, they serve the country with great distinction, whether it's in the business world or, as mentioned, by giving back to other people. I mean, these are young people that are so well-rounded. They have balanced lives, and it gives me the opportunity as a storyteller not only to talk about basketball and not only, of course, to call the play-by-play, but to have balance on our broadcast as well, to be able to maybe touch a listener in some way with a story that's authentic, because it's about a kid who's authentic.